Okay, well, we are here with our artist in residence, Alex Maher. He is our 2024 artist in residence at Buena Vista University. He has been spending the last 2 weeks with us, inspiring and mentoring our students.
Yes.
And he's working on this beautiful signature piece with Mickey and Buford.
Little friendly little Buford.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be like the mean football player.
No, not the mean football one, no.
So,
sports one.
yeah, well, as you're working on this, we're just kind of
Sure.
talking and recapping.
I can multitask, sand and talk at the same time.
All right.
I'll try.
So what were your first impressions about Buena Vista University that you've now been here for a couple of weeks?
Wow, okay, that's I love it feels intimate, and it's not a huge, I've been on some huge campuses in the past, and it's just very impersonal, personal, but yeah, so I enjoy this. It's a lot more, community oriented, I think, and it's more friendly, and the students are great, and faculty are great, so it's a lot of fun.
Did you get any time to enjoy the lake a little bit or walk by it? Or
I didn't really walk by it, I just kind of looked at it a lot. It's in a really nice lake, yeah. It's cold though. Didn't spend much time outside.
Well, that's true. It has been up and down. I have to admit that.
Yeah.
Well, we're known as Buena Vista University in Buena Vista County, but you're from Florida.
Yes.
Home of Buena Vista.
Buena Vista, yes.
So could you tell us a little bit about yourself and what got you to where you are today at Disney?
That's a long story. You have to make it short, right? A little abridged version. I was born and raised in South Florida. Always been a Disney fan all my life, and always wanted to work for Walt Disney World or just Disney in general. So just would read everything I could about Disney and would draw the characters from the books, and just wanted to draw the characters for a living. And then after high school, went straight into the U.S. Navy. Did illustration work in the Navy, a lot of graphic design work, and just kind of helped me, gave me that foundation into the world of graphic design and illustration. And then kind of worked my way up through different mom and pop print shops and graphic agencies, and worked actually at a university in South Florida, and then made my way to Disney and started, thank God I was able to get in and work on the Disney characters. So I do character work, I do character 2D and 3D stuff.
So now what's the difference between a Disney character artist and a Disney animation artist?
Yeah, well, animation artists actually draw for the film, so they're sitting there drawing with this, when they were drawn by hand, with paper, flipping the paper and just drawing little minute changes in each drawing to kind of make it move. It's 24 drawings per second, whereas we will get that character that they're animating, and we will actually just draw one version of it for product. So from shirts, for mugs, t-shirts, everything, hard lines and soft lines, meaning figurines and clothing. So yeah, we just draw them one time. So we have to get that story kind of told in just one drawing, whereas animation, they have a whole sequence they can, get that story told and come across, right?
So you guys are the rock stars.
No, I think they are. Wasn't for animation, we wouldn't be doing that stuff. And all started with animation, right? Mickey Mouse is starting animation, and then merchandise came after that, right? So I think they're the rock stars.
All right. Well, we're pretty happy to have you here.
Thank you.
We got to know each other when we got to take our students out to Walt Disney World.
Yes, that was fun.
Yeah, for our travel course, which is Storytelling with Walt Disney. And you've been so kind to talk to our students, and I thought, well, it'd be kind of cool to have you here and have you talking to our students here and sharing your talents and the love of Walt Disney.
Yes.
And you are like the ambassador, right, of keeping Walter Elias Disney's life alive.
I mean, I try. I mean, I have a huge affinity for Walt Disney and his brother Roy. If it wasn't for them, we all wouldn't be here. Or I wouldn't be at Disney or whatever, So
yeah.
We probably wouldn't know each other, right? So.
That's right. That's right.
But yeah, I do whatever I can to keep the legacy of Walt Disney alive. I did make a personal promise to Walt Disney's daughter, Diane Disney Miller, that when I did meet her, I promised her that as long as I'm with the company, I'll do everything in my power to keep the memory of Walt Disney alive. So she really appreciated that. So.
Well, one of the things that we had when you're here at Buena Vista is an art gallery show
Yes.
called Capturing Character. So I thought it'd be kind of cool if we could talk maybe about some of the pieces that you had on display here. And the first one that I know that you like the most, because that was the first one you said, well, yesterday I said, which ones do you want to talk about? This was the first one you said, was the Sleeping Beauty one.
Yes. Yeah.
Could you talk about that one?
That's actually one of my more recent pieces. The original was sold at the Disney at Epcot's Festival of the Arts. It goes from January to February, like 5 weeks. So I had 3 paintings in that festival, and so the Sleeping Beauty was one of the pieces that I created. I love Sleeping Beauty. I love when she's Briar Rose. It's, you know, and I love her in her outfit there, and the animals. I love animals, and I really love Ivan Earl was the background painter. Pretty much came up with the whole look of Sleeping Beauty, pretty much the whole design. And I just wanted to try to emulate his style with the backgrounds and trees and all that. So I did the best I could to emulate his style. You know, so it's one of my favorite pieces I've ever created, actually.
So now that is a chiclet, right?
A giclée, yes.
Yeah. Are you impressed that I actually said the word?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah.
Ah, I try. And that's where it's printed on canvas.
Yes.
All right. And so
High quality prints on canvas. Yes.
Okay, and then the other ones, which are more of the prints.
Yes, they're called deluxe prints.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
those
you
are
have
printed on like a nice lithographic paper and matted. So there's different price points. The giclées are stretched onto wood and then they're framed up, and so those are the price points quite higher. Of course, not as high as the original.
Right, right. Okay. Well, and then now the next one, this is for our Disneyland fans and Donald Duck, I guess you could say,
Yes.
about Donald Duck being a fireman out in
Yes.
front of the firehouse.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite pieces. I actually created that about 2-3 years ago. Huge affinity towards Disneyland because that was Walt's park, and Walt walked every inch of that place. And when I do a lot of my paintings, I try to incorporate something to do with Walt in them. And that one, it's the firehouse at Disneyland, and above the fire station, it's in the whole fire station. Above there, the second floor, Walt had a private apartment, and he would spend a lot of his off time up in the apartment. And it's just a really cool, special place. They have a window in the front, and there's a lamp. And to honor Walt Disney, they always have that lamp lit all the time. So I make sure my little lamp that I painted in that scene, it's lit up. So, and I love the old fire engines, and so I had Donald actually as a fireman at Disneyland. So it was quite a bit of work. That was a challenge because I put almost every little brick in the building.
Yeah.
So yeah, quite a bit of work on that one. So,
I think the neat thing about it is that it has so much history to it.
right. That's a big part of it. Yeah.
All right, and the next one, I had to make sure we included this one since we went to Marceline and we kind of celebrated Walt's love of trains, is the Mickey Mouse Engineer.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Actually, I did a very similar piece about 15 years ago, a little more realistic per se. This one was a little more cartoony, with the background is more whimsical. I just wanted to have a little more fun with it, and so it's based off of Walt had a backyard, a miniature railroad in his backyard, and I love that little small engine. I'm a big railroad fan myself, and so I made sure that I had Mickey on Walt's little Lily Bell, and Walt's barn is behind. And actually, that's the barn that he remembers as a child in Marceline. He recreated it in his home in Homely Hills, in Beverly Hills area. And so I wanted to paint that, and I made it more cartoony, of course. And I used the technique. It's all in acrylic, but I also used a lot of toothbrush. And I just got the paint and I splattered with the toothbrush. So trying to keep that control with the toothbrush is quite a bit of a challenge. But I love the effect that it gives. It's kind of very stipply, kind of fun look about it, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so the next one I think would be a deluxe print, and you can correct me, is the Winnie the Pooh. Or
The
is that?
Winnie the Pooh, that's a giclée.
That's just a clay.
Yes.
Oh, I was rocking until now. Oh well. But I like your story about Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, I've always been a Winnie the Pooh fan. I just love the simplicity of the characters, and they're so appealing. The voices, you know, the voice actors was just so great. And I've always loved the Pooh stories, and so I decided I'm going to paint them one of these days. But I don't want to do all the characters because it's a lot of work. and I wanted to just do Winnie the Pooh. And so I thought, well, I should maybe put Tigger in there, or maybe I should put Eeyore in there, because I love all the characters. Before I knew it, I was putting all the Pooh characters in there. The only one I did not put in was the one that was added by Walt Disney, which is the Gopher.
Oh, okay.
He's not in the book, and he says it in the film. There's a reason for that, because he's not in the original stories. Walt Disney created that character, which I should have put him on there, but they're playing Pooh sticks, and the Gopher, he kind of stays in the ground, so he probably wouldn't have been in that scene anyway. I guess I could have put him on the banks, but didn't feel like it worked. So.
Yeah, well.
I have 9 characters in that piece, so that was a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a neat one. I know a lot of people stopped and looked at that one.
Yeah.
So the next one here is right in front of us.
Yes.
Is the cup that looks like a steam engine. And we also have a copy of the drawings that you made about the way it looks like 360 and all that stuff. Could you kind of talk about this cup? And
yeah, we work with merchandise, our merchandise partners, and they wanted the person who develops all the mugs for the property. They wanted a train one, so they gave it to me because they know I love trains. So I did turnaround drawings. It's like a drawing every view of how it's going to look. But I wanted it nice and round and fat. And when it came in, the first sample came in from our factory in China that sculpted the piece. They made it a tiny little square, a little rectangular mug. And it just didn't look right. It looked really bad. And I said, this is not what I envisioned at all. So I decided I just grabbed a generic mug from my office somewhere, and I just started sticking clay on it and just molded it. I just actually sculpted this piece in my office, and then I sent it over to China, and they reproduced it exactly the way I sculpted it. So that's my vision. I guess when I drew it, I didn't give enough information or something. It just did not come out like that. So I did all the decal work on there and everything, and they followed it to the T. So I like the way it came out.
Yeah, and the drawing that we have posted here with this, what is that, and what's that used for?
The drawing?
Yeah.
It's just the reference for them.
Okay.
Yeah, so because they don't know this. I mean, they have no idea what that is, right? So you have to give them as much information as possible. So I did all the different views. It's called turnaround drawings.
Okay.
And then I give also the color call-out. So we have a worldwide color matching system called Pantone. And we just give them the numbers, and then they follow it closely. So.
Okay. Which is good advice for students, right? To detail, detail, detail.
More detail, the better. Yeah.
Okay, so let's recap the last 2 weeks with some key things that you did.
Coming really fast.
All right, the first one, the class visits.
Yes.
Could you talk about your experiences on the classes and what you think and any reflections on that?
I mean, it was fun for me, kind of being back in the school, right? I mean, it was just like really interesting, and just observing the students. Some of them were engaging, some weren't. And that's like, yeah, that was me. I was probably the one sitting in the corner back. So I understood, but it was fun to be back in that kind of atmosphere again, and just seeing how the professors interact with the students and stuff. It's more almost like the same level, almost like they call you by your first name, and I was like, wow, we didn't have that back in school.
Yeah, very.
It was fun. I really enjoyed it.
Very personal. Yeah. So like you attended business class, digital media, English. Art, animation. You had a pretty good gambit.
I actually learned some things. I was like, when the professor would ask me questions, I was looking around and nobody was going to answer, and I'm like, I want to answer. But I knew it wasn't my place, but there's so many times I wanted to answer. So, it was a lot of fun.
Cool. And then throughout the week, we had open studio right here in the gallery. This was kind of your working studio, and students got to come by and talk to you and look at what you were up to. And of course, the gallery show was Capturing Character. You shared a couple of spaces with some of our animation students. But the big thing about the gallery show is we had a big event on Friday, April 12th. It was called Celebrating the Art of Storytelling. And at that event, we did things like, you taught us how to draw a Disney character.
Yes. We drew Mickey, right?
Yep, Mickey and
we did a second one. We
Donald
did
Duck.
Donald Duck, yes.
Yeah. Do you enjoy teaching people how to draw characters, and what do you find rewarding in that?
Oh, it's fun. I mean, it's always fun to share your skills with others, right? I mean, we all know they love these characters, so everybody wants to learn how to draw them right. We do that at the parks all the time, so it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it.
Well, when I saw your video of the ones at Epcot, I went, it'd be kind of fun to do one here.
Yeah,
You know.
that was a lot of fun. We always get packed houses at Epcot when we're doing those classes.
Yeah, we had over 125 people come for that event.
In this area. Yeah.
Yes, that was pretty good.
I think they came for the cookies and the popcorn.
Oh yeah, the cookies. I should have a picture of those, but I don't. They were original drawings from you.
I drew every single cookie. It took me all night.
Yep. So, you know, you've been known to draw on about every types of medium.
Yes.
Have you ever drawn on a cookie?
No, I haven't actually. Never drawn on a cookie.
See, we had Mickey, Sorcerer Mickey,
Yeah.
and we had Mickey Mouse, and then we had Dopey.
Dopey, I think. Yes.
Yeah, so those are really awesome. And then we, of course, had the ice cream.
And they're delicious too.
Yes, yeah, they were good.
They're really,
yeah,
really
the
good.
Storm Lake Bakery does a great job.
Gosh.
And I tell you, you take one of those cookies and you have a Mickey Mouse ice cream bar, heaven, right there.
Yeah, I didn't partake in the ice cream bar. They were gone by the time I got around.
Well, you know, when you get back to Walt Disney World, maybe you can sneak out and grab one in between drawings. So at the end of that night, the fun continued with a group of students when we went to Marceline, Missouri, Walt Disney's boyhood home. And you have a lot of good friends in Marceline.
I've been
And,
there many, many times, yes.
and you were a great guide. Could you kind of walk us through some of the things we did with the students while we were in Marceline?
Well, we drove 6 hours. That was the main thing. That was a long drive, but it was a nice, beautiful country, beautiful, countrysides. Just, doing the historical sites in Marceline, all the Walt sites in Marceline, and eating at the corner diner there called Ma Vic's, which is always very popular,
Yeah.
And then, of course, going into the Walt Disney Hometown Museum and seeing all Walt's personal effects. It's all the family's personal effects, not the company really. So, but there are company displays. People have donated displays from Disney, but it's a lot of fun. Then we went over to the Walt Disney Elementary School, and Walt actually donated some of the items that are in the school, also with these murals that were painted in the elementary school there. So that was fun to see all that stuff. We got special permission from the principal to go in on a Saturday.
That was
We
cool.
had to run to the school. We could have run down the halls and it would have been fun. I think
It
you
would have
did.
been.
I think you ran. No, you laid down on the grass in the front yard, in the front of the school.
To shoot the flagpole. But the flagpole has a Disney history too.
Oh, absolutely. That flagpole was donated by Walt Disney. He was a master of pageantry. He took care of all the pageantry for the 1960 Winter Olympics in Squaw Valley. So he took care of all that, and he had these flagpoles that were at the Olympics. He donated one to Marceline, which is still there.
And then, of course, Walt's barn.
Walt's barn, yes, that's a recreation of his original barn that was on the Disney Family Farm. So we went in there, and people come from all over the world, and it's open to anyone to come see it. And people are allowed to sign the inside of the barn. So when you go in there, there are just millions and millions of signatures and different things in there that people have written.
Yeah, and people can check out some of those pictures on our digital media Facebook page, BVU Digital Media. So then we, on Sunday, we were coming back to Iowa, and we stopped by Chillicothe, Missouri, home of sliced bread. And we did a little scavenger hunt, seek and find, and we got home. And the next day, we started another week of you here on campus.
Yeah.
You had conversations with students. You got a chance to talk with students.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
And give them a chance to ask you specific questions.
I was able to hang out with them in the cafeteria and what's it called, the serve?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
the serve, and just hang out with them and just chat with them casually and answer their questions that they had about Disney or art in general. So I think that's probably some of my favorite times. Yeah.
And then the next milestone in your visit was your Walt Disney history presentation. And then we had a screening of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Yes.
Could you talk a little bit about the presentation? And also, I think it'd be interesting to talk about your love of Walt Disney's history and how important it is.
Yeah, like I think I mentioned earlier that when I met Diane, that I told her I would do my best to keep the memory of Walt Disney alive. So I've upheld that promise, and I actually did this PowerPoint of Walt's history, and I go to any division of the company that would sit down for 45 to an hour, 45 minutes to an hour to listen to my PowerPoint, and I've talked to probably, I would say, 10 different divisions in the company. And usually it's called a lunch and learn, where they just bring the lunches and you just watch the PowerPoint, and I'll talk. So, don't threaten me to talk about Walt Disney, 'cause I'll go on all day, right? So
All right.
I can talk about Walt all night. And so that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed sharing history on Walt Disney. And then, of course, the highlight was actually watching the film, which was fun for me.
And what's your favorite scene in Snow White?
My favorite scene of Snow White, oh boy. That one's a good one. I like all of it, but I'm trying to think. I tend to like when the doors are first introduced to Snow White, when they pop those noses over the edge of the board there.
You see a lot of those art pieces wrapped around those scenes, right?
Yeah, exactly. I just love Snow White, so I'm actually doing a painting of Snow White for the next Festival of the Arts.
Cool.
So that'll be fun.
We all have to go out there now in January and
you
see
have
it.
to. Sure.
Okay, so and throughout the 2 weeks, you have been working on the signature piece. We auctioned this off on April 12th during the Celebrating the Art of Storytelling, and I'm proud to say that I got it.
I was going to bid against you, but I felt bad. I created it.
So I am so excited. I am so excited about this, and we're kind of revealing it today as a finished piece overall.
Yeah.
And it is really a beautiful piece. I cannot wait to put it in my my trophy case in my office and see it. So hopefully people are getting to see that at home.
Yeah, and this will last for years and years, just as it is. I mean, I have a couple of examples there that I sculpted, 15, 20 years ago, and they're the same as they were then. So it's a kind of type of clay where it's very pliable, and once you bake it in the oven, it turns like rock solid. And you can sand it, which is what I'm doing. I'm actually sanding it to get some of the little bumps off and stuff, kind of make it nice and consistent. And then once we sand this down, just clean it up, and we can actually leave it this way, or we can paint it. So.
Yeah. My wife and I are still trying to decide that one. So, but I thought we'd go on to something new. So one of your newest projects that you've talked about is the hottest card games around today. It's Disney's Lorcana from Ravensburger. Did I get that right?
Yep.
And I just happen to have a deck here.
That's
Lorcana.
rare. They're sold out everywhere.
And I thought we could look at some of the artwork because, well, first of all, maybe you just want to briefly tell us how you're involved with this game.
Yeah, right at when pandemic ended, we were actually out for a while, and then we came back and they put me on this team. They said, we're going to have you approve art for this new card game called Lorcana. Of course, I was like, what's this, And so I got involved with that, and it's been nonstop. There are 256 cards per set, and I believe there's only been one set released to the public so far, but we're already kind of working on set 6. So you can imagine 256 cards times 6. That's a lot of character art. Every single piece of every card has art on it, all character art. So it's my task, along with my coworker, to pretty much do corrections. Or a lot of times we have meetings. We have Zoom meetings 3 times a week with this company, and they'll pop it up and we'll say, okay, we need to fix that, and they fix this and whatever. Sometimes they can handle it. They'll give back to their artists that paint to fix it, or we'll give them a couple tries, and then sometimes it's like, just send it to us and we will do the corrections for you. So I do quite a few corrections for these cards. Lisa, I did not correct that one, but I did look at that one. I did approve it. It, yeah.
Let's see.
I did that one. I drew
this
that
one?
whole thing.
Here we go. This one.
Yeah, I had to redraw that whole. That took quite a bit of time because they come with these unique angles, and just trying to correct the characters in that angle, and because that doesn't exist anywhere. So I had to do a lot of soul searching with the film, trying to get some good reference on the characters and trying to figure out how the characters look from that up angle that they're showing there. So that was a challenge to draw that one. It took me pretty much all day to draw that.
All right, now I was going through these, and I love this one here. Let me see if I can find it really quick.
Beautiful cards, though. They got foil.
Oh, they are. They're foil, and this
Beautiful
one.
card.
You do that one?
Yeah, I did work on that one, yes.
Yeah, I love that one. I don't know why. That just got my attention. Maybe because I like Pluto.
Yeah.
I love the Dalmatians. My son used to call them Doggy-mations. So, and there's that one. I'm going to show another one. Here's another one.
Yeah, worked on that one too.
And then I want
to. Like, for some reason, they defer to me to do all the Fab Five, which I like doing, but I like doing all the like the Dalmatians. I like doing some of the princesses. And
then this one I gotta show, because this is how I feel at the end of this 2 weeks. Because I hate to see you leave. It's here someplace. Okay, right here.
Oh yeah, I drew that one actually.
Yeah.
I drew that. Yeah. Like I said, they drew it, and then I did corrections. How I redrew the whole thing actually.
This is cool.
That was fun. He's fun. Yeah.
And of course, the voice of Khan was Winnie the Pooh, right?
No.
Oh, it wasn't.
It was Sterling Holloway.
Oh, yes. You haven't taught me that well. I'm sorry.
It wasn't a character doing a voice of another character.
That's true. Never mind. So these are so cool. So
a lot of people collect them just for the art, and
yeah.
I've been working on Lorcana for almost 3 years now, and I don't understand how to play the game. They've taught us how to play the game. Yeah. It's very complicated, but I just like the art. I collect the cards just for the art.
Well, so before you leave, you have to autograph that one.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, we're almost out of time. We got about 2 or 3 minutes, but I just wanted to ask you. What will you remember most about the visit here to Buena Vista?
I think really just the interaction with the students. I mean, I enjoy talking to people about art and about Disney and about whatever. I just, they're our future, right? And it's just like, you got to encourage our young people. And that was some of the most rewarding parts of my visit, is just talking to students.
Yeah, and I know you inspired them, and you shared with them some great stories, and also I think you shared with them the importance of curiosity.
Yes, absolutely.
And of course you enjoyed your time welding, learning how to weld.
Yeah, I learned how to weld. I learned about mosaics. And I was like, I'm going to put all that into use. Actually sculpting, or actually they make their own clay here. I think, I got the recipe, and I was like, I'm going to start making my own clay, and I got all kinds of stuff I got to do.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to meeting up with you again next May 2025 when we bring a group of students out to Walt Disney World.
Down to my turf.
Yes, down to your turf. And we do a travel course called Storytelling with Walt Disney. And so we'll be able to spend a day or an afternoon with you.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you'd like to say about the trip, or about your artwork, or about this whole experience?
This has been a fantastic experience, and that's all. I could say a whole bunch of stuff, but yeah, that's probably the best. It's been a fantastic experience. A lot of extremely talented people here.
Well, thank you for your generosity. Thank you for your time. You are awesome. I am proud to call you my friend.
Yeah, man.
And we hope to do more.
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, everybody. This was Artists in Residence 2024. And it's been a great 2 weeks. And remember, it's always fun to be magical.
Sounds like Mickey.